What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jack, and I'm back with another episode of A Daily Dose. Today, we're going to be talking about women's dating standards. And as always, I'm going to share with you my perspective on it. Now, without further ado, let's just jump right into it.
This is gonna make some people upset, but when guys say they won't date a woman that doesn't cook or clean, I completely agree. I also refuse to date a partner who can't do certain things, but it's way more than cooking clean, so I made a list. Before we get started, let it be noted that for everyone who's gonna be like, well, your standards are too high, no, the fuck they're not. My standards are right where they want to be, okay? And everything on this list is not even like this is the bare minimum, the lowest level of shit that you have to be able to do before I would even consider spending my time in a relationship with you. Cool, right? Also, I can do every single one of these things on this list, okay? Also, let it be noted, I am so happy single. Like, I am happier than I've ever been in a relationship.
Cope, eh, people who are happily single, and I know I'm stopping it early, people who are happily single, they don't make videos trying to convince people that they're happily single. They're just happily single, living their life, doing whatever they're doing. They're not making videos talking about their standards.
At this point in my life, completely single. If you're not there yet, I'm so sorry. But once you find that peace and no one's in your, I'm happy. Anyway, here goes the list, right? 1, drive a stick shift. I have a Jeep Wrangler. I drive a stick shift. If you can't do that, we can't be together.
Seriously, driving a stick shift. I mean, here we go. Number one is delusional. I have to drive a stick shift to date you. Let's move on.
Ride a motorcycle. I have a motorcycle. I ride a motorcycle. If you can't do that, you're not my guy. Swim. I'm not fucking kidding. How much gonna go jump off the cliffs in Italy and what? You're gonna be up there watching me? No. Own power tools. I'm an aircraft mechanic. So, build a house. When I joined the Navy in 2009, I started getting a whole bunch of opportunities to go do Habitat for Humanity projects, and I loved them. So far I've done 39 Habitat for Humanity projects. Every time we go build a house, and I know how to build a house. So if you can't build a house, you're out.
Okay. Oh my goodness, this woman. Um, owning power tools. I'll let that slide. Driving a motorcycle, like what? That is a. I wouldn't like. Why? What dude wants a chick driving a motorcycle? Maybe some dudes do like that. That's definitely not for me. Um, but the house thing, come on, sweetheart. This is her. You heard her say it. Her bare minimum list that you things that you have to do, and you didn't build those houses. If you did, let's see what they look like. These are not spectacular houses, I'm sure. They're probably like some little shack she built in a third world country somewhere where she put a few screws in some wood, and she participated in building the house, right? Were you the architect? Did you go get the wood, everything that's required to go into the house, the plumbing, the electrical, right? You participated in all of that.
Sew a button back on your shirt. I'm not kidding on this one. That's just like a skills thing. If you can't sew a button back on your shirt, if you can't figure that out,
Why would I waste my time sewing a button on a shirt when I could just take it to a tailor and have them do it for like $5 or $10? Why would I waste my time that way?
no. Bake a cake. Once again, I'm not kidding. Definitely not kidding. The instructions are on the box. Like a 5-year-old could do this. Figure it out. Hold a conversation about topics that you're not interested in whatsoever. This is a serious thing too. Like if you're in a relationship, a lot of times you're going to end up around people that are going to talk to you about things that you don't want to talk about and don't care about. If you have kids, they're going to talk to you about shit that you don't fucking care about all the fucking time. I'm not dealing with it. If you can't hold that conversation and you can't present yourself as a respectable, intelligent person around my friends and family when they're going to talk to you about shit that you might not want to. No. Next. Cut the grass. I've bought 2 houses. I've cut my share of grass. The reason I moved out of my house and into an apartment in 2018 was because I realized I was 27 years old and I was on my way home on Friday night worried about whether or not I was going to be able to cut my grass before it rained. I've cut my share of grass. If you can't cut the grass, and well, done. Fix a hole in the wall. Once again, I own 2 houses. If you can't do something that simple, you're not my person. I'm going to be pissed off if you do it wrong too. Afford to go places I like to go. This is about eating. And this one's a good one. So I'm going to make a part 2. This is going to make some people.
And there you have it. Another woman who, I mean, from the look of it, and then I think she said she bought a home or 2 homes in like 2017 at the age of 27. It's 2026 now, right? This woman is well past 30. She's like 35 or close to it. I don't feel like counting. But another single woman with masculine traits who wants you to be her handyman with your power tools. That's why, you stop feeling sorry for them at some point because they're literally doing this to themselves. But let me know what you guys think about this, and I'm gonna move on to the next one.
And you know what? While we're on the topic, I'm just going to talk about some of my standards. I don't care if this is controversial. I don't care if you agree with me, and I don't care if we have the same opinions, because you're not me. If you don't agree with me, that's wonderful because you have your own brain and you have your own set of standards and boundaries and morals and values that you can dictate on your own. This is mine.
And I just want to, before she gets into her standards, I just want to say that I think that young women should definitely have standards. You can have your standards high, right? And they go down as you age because obviously you're not getting what you, or you don't qualify for what you think you do, right? So then they should come down. But you have women who get to their mid 30s and then they start having standards as if they are 20, 21, 22 when they should have had those standards back then. It does not work that way. Now, this she seems relatively young, definitely under the age of 25, if not 25. So let's hear what she has to say.
So if you have a problem with them, thank God you're not me. Number one, we must have the same view of loyalty, and the entirety of loyalty's definition must be the same. I think with social media and dating apps and texting and just having a phone in general, there's
Right. See, this is and she's just basically talking about I would assume relationship loyalty, which really means nothing when it comes to women because the one thing that the men want us, I mean, men want women to be loyal to is if they go through a rough time. And I don't care, this goes for any and everybody, myself included. If you ever go through any type of financial downturn, right, that requires patience and some time, I would say I would define significant time being more than a year, right? You'd be lucky if you get that. First of all, they're about it. You got 90 days if she really likes you, right? And a lot of men they don't want to acknowledge that truth. It's better to just accept that, right? It's better to just accept that because if you don't and you go through anything financial, which most people do in their lives, right? Then you're going to be blindsided. You're going to feel like you were blindsided because you expected her to be loyal to you because you've been loyal to her, right? Meaning you giving up all your sexual options, right? You've given up all your options just so she can be the so you can be in a monogamous relationship with this woman. And when it's time for her to return the favor, right? And support you through whatever economic downturn we're going through in society as we are going through one now, right? If she has to spend any of her money for a significant amount of time or any at all, then that relationship's pretty much over. And It's not gonna be the case all the time. However, more so than not, is that's going to be the case.
A lot of new idealization around loyalty and what defines loyalty. We must have a mutual understanding of what is cheating and what is not cheating. Like the first thing that I do when I'm interested in a man is I go to their following list and see how many girls that post in half naked pictures. See how many of those that they're following. If there's like over 1,000 people and the ratio within the first 300 people that I'm seeing is like all girls that are posting in bikinis and all have that same look, we all know that look. If that's your entire following list, absolutely not. I wouldn't even go on a date.
Now, I do have to agree with her on this one because following a lot of girls is just just a distraction, right? Instagram is just gonna keep feeding you boobs and butt at whatever app you're on, right? Whatever social app you're on. If that's what you're looking at, that's what the algorithm is gonna continue to feed you. It's a waste of time. You'll end up doom scrolling. Um, I'm pretty sure there are some people who can become unsatisfied with the woman that they have because they're seeing so many different women online. Um, but you have to understand that a lot of these women have surgeries and they're using Photoshop and tuning apps to make themselves look better than they do in real life because I've seen women in person, interacted with them in person, that I've seen them first on Instagram, and they don't look the same. They do not look the same. So outside of the relationship aspect, which I agree with her, if you're dealing with a lot of different women and they're attractive, it's going to be very difficult for you to just remain friends or just do business with them. So it's just best not to follow a lot of girls on Instagram unless you kind of personally know them, like cousin, um, or friends of your girlfriend, things of that nature. You guys kind of got to work that out within the relationship.
If I had already been on the date and I saw it, I would bring it up to them, give them the chance to change it. If it didn't change, probably wouldn't get a second date. Date nights and dating. I think something that people kind of forget once you are dating for a while is you need to continue dating. Like my parents, when I was growing up, my parents would always have date night. They would have a sitter, like when we were young, they would have a sitter come and be home and they would go on date night. And even now, like I'll call my parents like,
And again, I'm going to stop her because I'm in agreement with her on this because it's very, very important to have that relationship between the man and the woman in order for you to coexist within the same household so you can raise your children. It's very important that you plan for children. You don't just have them, right? You plan for them and that's how they become more than just average. You don't want I mean, why have a kid if your plan for them is just to be average, right? But again, this requires a lot of money and it's not emphasized to men how much money you have to continuously make in order to maintain your family. Because make no mistake about it, in order for you to have a family, you will be paying for it every single day. You will be paying for it with not only money, but your energy, attention, and time. Shout out to CGA. He coined the term meat, money, energy, attention, and time. So I want to give him his credit. Um, but yeah, you have to. It requires a lot, and dating your female or your wife is gonna play a big part in that. Also, what comes with that is the physical component, right? Being able to stay physically attractive. Both sides have to stay physically attractive. And this is hard on the man because not only do you have to keep the attraction level up with your physique, right, and your appearance, but you also have to make sure that you're making that money. And to make the type of money that is required, to maintain she looks like she's living a good lifestyle, right? This type of girl is gonna require uh, a high level lifestyle. So you could be looking at 12 to 15-hour days, or you have to start a business, or you have to you have to do something else, right? You have to bring in the dough. Right now, I would strongly discourage doing nefarious things, right? Because, if you go to jail, then everything goes to the gutter. So,
once a week. Be like, what are y'all doing? On date. Dating is so important, and for the man to pursue the woman specifically. There's so much of that I could get into, but specifically the man pursuing the woman and actively dating your partner, making plans, going on dates, keeping the pursuit of wanting to be in a relationship with someone and going on dates and getting dressed up. It adds so much to the relationship. And if I were with someone that didn't see the value in that, God, you must believe in God. That's not even it's not even an argument. Like if you are waving the line at all of believing or not believing, like that, absolutely not. We need to be on the same page with that. Specific religion, I don't mind as much, but you need to want to center God at your life. Like you have to be able to understand that everything that you have and everything that you are is because of him. And if you don't understand that, no, like God, the reason you are here is because of him. And the reason you have everything that you do and that you are able to live is because of him. So if that's not a mutual understanding, no. Personally, for me, nicer things, finer things, the nicer things in life. I save a lot of my money. I am a saver. I believe in putting a lot of money away. I also like to spend money.
oh, we know. And I'll take nothing away from it. This girl is young. She's very attractive. She is well within her rights to ask for this. As long as she is preserving herself, meaning she's not jumping in bed with everybody, right? Exclusive. She seems fit, feminine, and yeah, again, very attractive. So I have no problem with her standards. And the thing is, guys can get hung up on the money thing, right? What I'll say is this. You can't just let her just spend she can't just be saving up money because they want to save up money just in case the thing goes south and they can still maintain the lifestyle. They don't want to go down in lifestyle. I get it. However, you shouldn't be killing yourself. You can't kill yourself to maintain the lifestyle solely by yourself, right? Her money, what is she doing with her money? Right? Your money has to be going to contributing to the family in some way. So if she's down for that, then okay.
I like to save. Don't get me wrong. I think there's an important balance of being able to save and spend.
And one thing, what a frame. One other thing that I'll say, and then I'll let her continue on. A lot of times they don't understand that they don't really understand saving within assets. You can't just save money now, right? Because inflation, as everybody is understanding it now, is going to erode your purchasing power. So you can put it in a bank account. It does not matter. The purchasing power will be destroyed. So you'll be taking out more of that money to buy the same exact items, right? So you have to have assets that appreciate over time, and you have to outpace inflation. So I think true-flation is about 8%. So let's just say 10. So you got to be outpacing 10% every year. That's about the S&P 500. That's not aggressive enough. So you have to go for more aggressive assets, right? You have to go down the risk curve, right? Now, me personally, I would suggest cryptocurrency. You know, you don't have to go down there. There's a risk curve that you go down with that. Stay with Bitcoin and Ethereum, even get you some chain link. And, you know, that's as dangerous as you have to go, right? Because that's going to give you, on average, a better return. Definitely Ethereum will give you a better return than the S&P 500.
I like nice things. And if that isn't understood by the other party, you're not gonna like me. So that's kind of just like a goes both ways. Because if you're someone that doesn't like to spend money at all, we're never gonna get along. But just being able to enjoy the nicer things in life and splurging every once in a while and being able to appreciate finer things, it's a standard that I have. You have to be able to do that. And if you don't, there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't, all power to you. That's great. I'm just not that way. Another standard that I have is, which is kind of, I've had to navigate it a lot and kind of go back and forth on my views of it, is boundaries with family. And the reason this is really hard for me personally is because I am someone that has very firm boundaries with my family. Like, I'm so incredibly close with my family, but with my relationship specifically, like, you need to know the boundary of crossing the line of like information that you know, or overstepping with your opinions or anything like that. Like, there's a boundary with family when you're in a romantic relationship, if that makes sense. And I've been in not a lot of relationships, but I've been in, I think, like 2 now, where the family has had no respect for the relationship, if that makes sense. Like, if I do not see that the person I'm dating is able to put up a boundary when it comes to their family, that is not okay. Because for me, like, and the reason it's hard is because you can't expect someone that you're dating, or that you're newly dating, freshly dating, whatever it is, to put up a boundary with their family when you don't know if you're going to get married or you don't see a future with them. But in turn, if you don't see that they're able to do that, that can be detrimental to a relationship, at least for me. So that's been really hard. It's like boundaries with family, boundaries with friends, and kind of just what you keep sacred.
Okay, I need a little bit more. Maybe an example would be better. But with a relationship between you and your girlfriend, wife, woman, whatever words you wanna use, yeah, you guys have to have certain boundaries and things that are kept between you two, especially negative things, because nobody's in your relationship every day. So if you're telling them the negative things, then that's all they're gonna have to go off of to pretty much judge that person. Everybody judges everyone, and it's based off our actions, whether good or bad, right? And it's easier for people to remember the negative things. For some reason, I myself included, right? It's easier for us to just hone in on the things that are negative sometimes without looking at all the positive things that are happening until those positive things start going negative. So, but I do agree with her. You do have to have boundaries within a relationship. And yeah,
Does that make sense? I hope I'm explaining that correctly, but I guess it just goes back to boundaries. Someone that is able to respect your boundaries and see them and stick up for them and stand by them, that's huge for me. Like, if you've ever dated a mama's boy, like, you know, I have a lot of trauma with that, and like someone that just cannot respect that you're in a relationship and someone else might come before them.
yeah, and this is usually a money thing too. Um, well, sometimes I'm not gonna say it's always a money thing, but your mother, every woman, even your sister, every woman in your life, they're gonna look at as men. We're a resource to everybody that's in our life. We are a resource that they're going to look to extract from. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It just is, right? And participating in this world, in society, right? That is going to be your position. right? And unfortunately, the level of respect that you get is tied to that as well. You can be a great guy, kind, generous as you can be, but you have to have enough for not only yourself, you have to have enough for the woman and whatever children you guys produce, and you're gonna have to be able to help other relatives, right? I.e., sisters, possibly brothers, and possibly mother, right? They're still gonna want things done for them, right? Especially as you rise up in the world, people will look to you, um, not only for guidance, wisdom, but financial support.
Boundaries are a big thing, and having a partner that can respect your boundaries. Fitness and wellness is a huge standard for me, which I didn't realize was as important as it was. I'm now learning a lot more about myself. Just in the last year, I've learned a lot more about myself, but someone that wants to take care of themselves and live a healthy lifestyle, huge. If you just want to be a lazy piece of shit and eat whatever the hell you want and drink your body weight in beer and all of the things every single day, that is not the path that I want to go on. That is not the life that I want to live. So that's a huge standard that is extremely important to me. I love having a nice cocktail. I love having a little spritz.
I'm not gonna ramble on about the fitness thing. I already talked about it, but it is very important. Um, there's no getting around it, and I've talked about this in previous videos. Gym is life, so you're gonna have to build up a healthy tolerance and a relationship with pain, because the gym is it's not necessarily a physical pain. It is it's a grind. It's a grind, and, you can listen to as many motivational videos and speeches as you want to, but you have to build a certain level of discipline in order to make sure that fitness is a part of your life. It doesn't have to be your entire life, right? But for a period of time, it is going to be a large chunk of your life until you figure it out, right? And as like anything, as you get better at it, the time that it takes for you to get it done, it minimizes, right? Now, paying for people who've already been through it, right? Paying for their services, like a personal trainer, right? Or whatever you're trying to learn. If you're trying to get good at something, like you want to fly, you want to learn how to fly, you have to get a flight instructor, right? Or you have to get you have to pay for some way for you to learn how to be able to fly in order for you to pass the tests that are required to get that license, right? For them to trust you to be able to operate that vehicle in the sky just like a driver's license. There are things that you have to do to prove that you can handle that before you get a driver's license. And you have to maintain a vehicle with car insurance and, the car payment if you have one, maintenance on the vehicle, right? Same concept. Your body is no different, right? It's not just about going to the gym, it's about what you're eating, what you're consuming when no one's looking.
I love a nice meal, a pasta, a burger, whatever it is. I also love to feel my best. And you don't feel your best when you're eating crap and not working out and not moving your body and all of that stuff. So it's just respect. I feel like respect is overlooked almost. Like there's so many times where I'm with couples and the man will say something disrespectful and I'm like, how are you dating that guy? Like if a guy that I was dating ever disrespected me in public, it would be crazy. Like disrespect. I can't like just
And I'll touch on this briefly. And because this is the thing that you'll hear from some, um that's why there are parts about like the red pill stuff and manosphere stuff that I really just can't get with. A lot of the stuff that they say, is a lot of it is true and it's helpful, right? But it's how you use it. Now, some of these guys act like they just, they're just running the woman. They're not giving her any leeway. Why would you want a relationship like that where the woman is basically like some type of a puppet, right? And you have no respect for her, right? Think about what I mean. If that's the way that you're interacting with the woman, right? And your daughters, you have a daughter or daughters, right? And they see that. Is that how you want people to treat them? That's not how I would want somebody to treat my daughter if I had one, right? And I want my woman to feel respected and proud to be with me. I think everybody would. So, respect is definitely goes both ways.
Of a man with a good work ethic, a man that wants to succeed with drive, that is not lazy, that gets up every day and is like, what can I do today? I want to be better. That is pushing me and pushing him to be better every day. That's like the most attractive quality, is someone that wants to be better, that wants to achieve more, do more, be more, just someone that wants to be the best version of themselves every single day, because I know that's what I strive for. Like every day I'm like, how can I be better than I was yesterday? What can I do for somebody else? How can I be the best version of me day in and day out? Someone else that is also like that. And to conclude, I obviously have way more. I think just looking for someone that is an amazing person and that you feel lucky to be with, I think is the most important part. I don't even know, I just thought it was funny because I've had that question a lot, is like, what are your standards? What do you look for in a guy? Those are just a few things. And I think just looking for a person that makes you feel lucky to be with them, that's the biggest thing.
One of the worst parts of growing up is realizing that a lot of the advice that we were given as younger people is based around fear. Because as I get older, I realize a lot of my standards were just easy ways to weed out people that maybe would have been cool or whatever, or good for me, but I was trying to find ways to keep my walls up. I'll never forget, I don't know if you guys remember who TLC is.
Real quick, I just want to speak on the fear-based standards, right? And that that tends to that I'm hearing that comes from a single mom. Usually single moms put a lot of fear-based standards on their daughters growing up because of things that they went through. And I understand to a certain degree. However, um, you have to you have to make sure that you're looking for the positive things. You're not just pointing out the negative things. And fathers will do this as well. This is how you end up with the spoiled brats or the terrorists in the dating market who are just demanding all these outrageous things, especially from women in their 30s and beyond. um they come up with their father just giving them that straight princess treatment, and then they expect some man who doesn't know them to immediately pick that up and start treating them the same way when he has no reason to.
Chili went on a dating show, I think it was for like VH1. Somebody told her, like, you have such a long list of standards and things that somebody must meet because you're more comfortable being alone. And I've thought about that periodically. For example, I need somebody that texts me back right away. Maybe for me that meant the fear of being ignored, or the fear of like going through the process of being weighed and measured and not enough. Yeah.
See, yeah, and she's definitely in her 30s. No, no, you're gonna get a text back, but if you're panicking because someone, if that's a requirement, somebody needs to text you back immediately. You're gonna have a hard time, right? Because I guarantee you, she wants a guy that's um very ambitious. An ambitious guy. Why he doesn't have time to text you all day. That doesn't mean that he's gonna leave you on red or not talk to you for about 4 or 5 hours, but it might be an hour. It might be 2, right? Before you get a text back. But if he cares about you, he's probably gonna tell you, "Hey, I'm doing this, got your text or whatever. I'm just checking in." Something along those lines, right? It's not gonna be immediately somebody's gonna immediately text you back. If he's immediately texting you back, he has nothing else to do. He has nothing else going on.
Yes, I got that from A Knight's Tale. But if I make something immediately, like, oh, you're out, it doesn't really give people a chance, does it? Or like now that I'm in my mid-30s, right? People are getting divorced.
Boom, look at that. Mid-30s. And when they get to their mid-30s, then they start reliving certain things, and it's basically regret, right? Maybe I shouldn't have cut this guy off. Maybe I should have gave him a chance, right? Because that wall is approaching and they want to have that child. They want to get that ring, right? So they're not left out of the club.
I hear people say, like, I would never date somebody that's been divorced. My mom's been divorced, and you'd be lucky if she looked at you. But maybe now that I'm a little older, I'm like, I don't know if that's a standard or the fear of being, maybe like the fear of repeating somebody else's story with them. Standards protect your values, okay? Standards are the neighborhood where your values live. Fear protects your wounds. That fucked me up. A real standard is saying, I need emotional intimacy. I want shared ambition. That's a standard. I require kindness in the people that I'm with. These are descriptors of the kind of person that you want to be with. Fear-based rules describe what you're trying to avoid, And if you live a love life based on fear, based on avoidance, you don't give people the opportunity to surprise you. And there is no way, there's no guarantee that you are not going to get hurt. You could have standards for days. You could have fear-based, whatever, rules for days. There are people that have been with other people for 30, 40 years.
See, here's the thing with these women and all these standards, right? That you're not gonna find this perfect unicorn, right? You're not gonna find this perfect unicorn, and even if you did, he has to like you. He has to like you. He has to like you. He can check all the boxes, but he has to choose to wanna be with you. And then I know you want monogamy, he has to choose to be with you and you alone. So if he checks all these boxes, he lives up to your high standards, you're not the only woman with these high standards. So chances are, if he's checking your boxes, he's checking the boxes of many other women. That's why it's best to just you gotta pick someone who has those main things. I'm not saying that you can't have standards. Pick the main things and then you work on the rest. You work on the rest, right? And this is obviously a male perspective because this is how I think. I would pick someone with the main things. I don't expect anybody to be perfect, right? And as long as you have those main things that I'm looking for as the foundation, we can build the rest. We can get the rest.
And they get hurt. All you can do is put your faith in your standards. And if somebody lies to you, that doesn't make you an idiot. You're not a fucking psychic. You do the best you can. So you have to ask yourself, are you building your future based on your standards or your fears? Because one builds partnership and the other builds walls. Ugh. One of the worst parts of growing up.
All right, guys. I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know what you guys think about today's video. Um Modern women dating standards. Again, if you like the video, like the video. If you want to share it, share it. Um Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments section. Um yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Until next time, guys. Peace.